Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you to the members. Thank you to Dr. Carson for his willingness to serve our country in this role. I'm honored to be here to introduce my friend and a fellow Floridian, Dr. Ben Carson, who's President-elect Trump's nominee to be the Secretary of HUD. I'll begin by acknowledging that I didn't have a chance to interact with Dr. Carson much until about 2015, when both him and I ran many of those inter hours under hot lights, answering tough questions. I did have an interaction in the summer of 2015 in Iowa. He may not remember this, but I was feeling very sick that day, ran into him into the lobby of a hotel. Said, "I'm not feeling good today, Doc." And he said, "Well, no, tell me what you're feeling." I described my symptoms, and Dr. Carson said, "Yeah, it sounds like you're sick." So, but all that aside, I've gotten to know him and his family through this process. You learn a lot about someone by watching him in a circumstance and in a situation such as that of running for President of the United States. But you also learn a lot because he's clearly an extraordinary and accomplished individual, someone who has been blessed with the gift of saving lives by performing surgeries that few, if any, in the world would have undertaken. Dr. Carson is supremely accomplished in his professional life. Even though his accomplishments in his professional life are extraordinary, I believe he's even a more extraordinary person. He's a man of limitless compassion and of concern for others, a man who has never forgotten where he started out in life and all the obstacles that he had to overcome to achieve the American dream, and a man who has devoted his life in public service. He's been a mentor, a generous giver of his time, a founder of a successful nonprofit, all designed to help remove the obstacles that he faced from other Americans. As the Secretary of HUD, Dr. Carson will encounter a department that is broken in many regards. It is a vast, sprawling bureaucracy that reaches all corners of our country. It's based here in Washington, but its most important work doesn't even take place here. It takes place out in the communities where they have housing facilities or provide assistance to people. I've seen with my own eyes the major challenges HUD faces and of its consequences on real people. Specifically, I've seen how lapses, incompetence, and a lack of accountability in the HUD inspection process has endangered the lives of men, women, and children, and not just in Florida, across this country. HUD needs a leader who knows how to overcome tough obstacles, someone who, when told you'll never be able to do that, finds the way to do that and does it well. Well, that is what Ben Carson has done his entire life. To those who may have questions about his qualifications, that is certainly the role of this committee. But I would argue to you that the most important qualification that I would look for in a HUD secretary is someone that understands that HUD is not just about providing people a place to live. At its core, HUD is about the American dream. HUD is about the belief that those who have been left behind and have suffered and have given them a chance to stand back up on their own 2 feet and achieve a better life. HUD, in many ways, is about empowering people to capture the promise of America, the one thing that makes us different than the rest of the world, where in this country, no matter who you're born to or how underprivileged you may be starting out in life, we believe every human being is entitled by our Creator to achieve their God-given potential. And I would just encourage this committee to understand this. Dr. Carson believes this not because he read about it in a book or in a magazine or because he watched some documentary on PBS. He believes it because he has lived it, and that cannot be easily replicated. He has the values, the compassion, and the character, and the kind of drive that we need. He's a proven leader, a doer in solving tough problems and doing things that are hard and that people believe to be impossible. Throughout his life, people have put their hopes and literally their lives in his hands. And from everything I've seen from him firsthand and gotten to know about him, I am hopeful that this nation will soon entrust him with the duty of serving as the Secretary of HUD. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.